Hey everyone, Ruby here, and today I wanted to talk about an old TV show that I absolutely love, a show that made me a fan of the franchise, a show that makes me want to name every turtle Mikey or Raph.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, heroes in a half shell, turtle power.
That's right everyone, I want to talk about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1987 show. I got into the show because I had 2 DVDs of the first 2 seasons when I was younger, and I've loved the show ever since. Today, I want to talk about some principles of design the TMNT show has, and some examples of those principles to show why the show is great. The first one we should get out of the way is storytelling. The main characters are the 4 turtles,
Leonardo,
the leader of the group, and wields the katanas,
Donatello,
the brain of the group, who uses the bow staff,
Raphael,
the snarky turtle, who uses the sais,
Michelangelo,
the goofiest one out of them all, and uses nunchucks. Then there's Splinter, a person who got turned into a rat from a same ooze that turned the turtles into the teenagers that they are today, and is considered the father and mentor of the turtles. And finally, there's April, a news reporter who stumbled into the turtles after they saved her from a robbery, and is technically the eyes and ears of the turtles in the morning, since the turtles will be hated by people, so they hide in the shadows at night to be less seen. Then there's the main villain, the Shredder, the arch enemy of Splinter who commands the Foot Clan to take over the world. Then there's the Krang, the second villain, who's basically like a brain-looking alien thing that also wants to take over the world just like Shredder. And finally, for the last 2 seasons, it was Lord Dreg, who is also another alien just like the Krang that wanted to take over the world. The plot is a really simple one. The turtles stop Shredder's plan to kill the turtles and Splinter so he can take over the world. Kind of a basic plot, but a plot that works, especially during 1987. The mood is usually goofy, but has some intense parts from time to time with the battles, and because of this, it is very easy to get sucked into the show. The movement is also pretty linear. You need to watch one episode to understand the next one, and you gotta keep on going until the end of the show, just like any other show. The second principle I want to talk about is iconic representation. This one is also very easy. Each turtle has an iconic bandana color and weapon. Splinter has an iconic robe and cane, April with her hairstyle and yellow jumpsuit, and the Shredder with his armor and steel claws. There's also the Krang, which is basically just a big brain with a basically bigger robot body that he controls. Next up is self-similarity. People usually like to connect themselves to a character in a show, and that usually ends up being their favorite character. I do this as well. I like to have fun and make people laugh, and so that's probably why Mikey's my favorite, because we're pretty similar at the end of the day. The next one I want to talk about is highlighting. The one highlighting example that I want to talk about is in fact the music. The music can show an important scene, like for example, battle scenes. It's always the same music used. This recreation by Insult Productions is the battle theme that would play during every fight. Usually after the fight, it will show the aftermath of Shredder's plans being foiled. Like in the first episode, Shredder had to evacuate with the Technodrome because the turtles were pretty close to it.
They are the turtles. Hamato Yoshi's turtles. They must not discover my Technodrome.
All foot, return to the Technodrome at once.
And finally, let's talk about the life cycle. The 1987 show had the longest number of seasons per TMNT show, with a total of 10 seasons. However, due to many reasons, like the last 2 seasons not really being received well because of the new red sky art style, and the villain not being that memorable, and a new at the time FCC law saying that Saturday morning cartoons had to be educational, the show sadly ended in 1996, a total of 9 years of the show running on air.